Sounds good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Bunny, Trisha, Kanish, our early comers. I'd like to welcome my guest, Queen of Spade. The true
whole
queen.
internet just fucking.
Yeah. So, let's get into it. Why did you start your channel in the first place?
I started my channel because I had done It Works in Sensi, and I wanted to get into anti-MLM. I had been doing the advocacy online for a couple of years or so jumped into doing a channel. That was in October.
Now, MLMs are how would you describe them? Like scam companies in a way?
Multi-level marketing companies. So like those pyramid scheme things that Karen's asking you to join on Facebook every day.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sure everyone probably has experienced that to some extent.
Probably.
Now,
probably not as much as the girls on here, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But as you were making videos, how long would you say you were doing the MLM content, just unbothered?
Till the beginning of December.
All right. And you were a growing channel at the time, what did you say?
Still
Yeah. Well, now you said there was an incident where all of a sudden your channel started getting a little bit of hate. What happened there early on?
I did a stream on Twitch and I shared it to YouTube where I said that there was probably going to be no charges on Onision because of the Chris Hansen investigation, and that was December 4th. So I got some traction from that because I shared it on Twitter, and I had some of the anti-O people on Twitter, so they weren't happy with me.
Well, it's safe to say we're kind of vindicated on that opinion.
Yeah, and then I found a Loki right around, I had already kind of watched a few things of his without even really realizing. And then I started to watch him more regularly because he at the time also didn't believe that there was going to be an FBI investigation.
Yes, I remember. I'm still a subscriber who can still watch him. Yes, he kind of called on early on. He was uncomfortable about Vincent Nicotra early on as well. Yes. So what happened between you and Loki? Now, I missed that stream, so I've only seen clips.
I really don't know. I asked him a question, and he kind of took it the wrong way, and then went on a huge
what
rant.
Would you ask him?
Did you just went off.
What was the question that set him off?
He was watching some oh, what day was it? It was the day that Chris Hansen was having someone on, and I don't remember who it was right now. A minute. But yeah, I don't remember who it was.
Wait. You kind of remember,
but yeah, he was doing a stream. Someone was going to be on Chris Hansen that night, and basically I just asked him, since he was watching some old Onision debate, so I was like, how is this pertinent to tonight? I thought I missed something.
Okay, I understand. And he took it the wrong way.
And he
from the clips I've seen, he definitely was a little harsh. I think he has admitted that since then. I don't know if you two have apologized to each other or anything.
No, I tried to go into the Discord, but it was with Phoenix, so that was probably not the best decision in the entire world. And then it just didn't turn out very good. We ended up just kind of yelling at each other.
Yeah,
I tried to talk to him that night afterwards too. in the comments, but he was just adamant that he was right about what I was trying to say. And
yeah, I mean, it's a problem with like text things. So it can get taken out of context as well. You know, like people take things the wrong way. I feel like there's a lot of like something.
Well, it would have been fine, except then later on that night he did another stream. So he had found some like posts I made where I was getting mad at like the anti-O people. And I made some like post where I was like, if you really care about Onision and his kids, then like maybe you should call CPS or something along those lines.
I think you had your thing up on a stream at one point. I was there for that one. Yes.
Well, what happened is he kind of alluded that I was like running some CPS calling group on Onision. Then I had like a whole bunch of people just coming and being like, you're trying to wreck the Onision investigation and you're calling CPS. And
yeah, I definitely know that you had some people coming after you during that time. From the impression I got from that stream, I think that stream's gone now because people private their live streams for some reason. I think the impression I got anyway was that he was like going after you for like, in a way, encouraging people to call CPS. I think that's what he was trying to get at, which I don't think that posting that really encourages people too much because nobody really saw it. You know what I mean? It's not like it was getting mass shared. So
no, I just ended up with like hate from like I still have like Trash Human and like Bethany going off and like a few of the people from his community.
Yeah, well,
they're like still on me today.
Did you accuse Trash Human of being took?
But then what happened is then later. I don't know. I've been told that it is, but then I've also been told it isn't. I'm sick and tired of trying to figure out who all these people are.
They're definitely. I promise you, they are not.
I don't know. That's what I mean. It was Phoenix that told me that that's who she was. Phoenix was a Tush goes by Trash Human. She's used that name. It was actually me and CJ that were like, I'm not sure about that. And Phoenix was like, no, I know this. And we were like, okay.
Okay. Well,
that's what happened with that. That's why I thought it was her. It was because of Phoenix.
Okay. That's interesting. I was very curious about that. Yes, there's a lot of misinformation and like confusion that goes around in the thing. I've noticed that.
Well, you have to understand that any information I got about anything that happened came from CJ and Phoenix.
All that misinformation came from there.
Pardon?
All of that misinformation came from there. Would you say? Like it was like that little sphere was spreading it?
Yeah.
So that
Phoenix spreads a lot of misinformation.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. But all right. Now going on from that, from the Loki thing, you then I noticed around the same time period you managed to anger like what Repsion who like did the thing where they quote tweet you so that way they can sick your fan base on you.
Well, no. What happened after that is CJ got a hold of me. Ursan got a hold of me, like, because of Loki picking on me. That's how we met. He came to me and he was like, I want to know what happened. Apparently Phoenix told him to. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the story, but that's just what I'm told. And so then a little while after that, yeah, that was during Vince sharing the Crank Yankers joke. That's what that was. And Repsion went and supported his Crank Yankers joke. So I tweeted at him and I was like, yo, like, there's a lot of people mad about this right now. And there's a lot of shit going on with Vince with, like, doxing and shit behind the scenes. Like, and like, viewers getting doxed over this anti-O stuff that you should look into.
Yeah, they were kind of like psychotic, the anti-O community.
Yeah, so Repsion just kind of like laughed and sent me back a Crank Yankers meme because he just was like, I don't give a fuck. And then I was like, your last video decade was a bullshit lie, because he had just done this video where he was all like, I love my fans so much and my viewers are so important to me. And I'm like, some of your viewers are getting doxxed. He's like, ha ha, Crank Yankers meme. I was like, the fuck is this?
there's a certain Google Drive that you
So
can
then
get
he
access
shared
to.
that.
Repsion is guilty of some doxing.
Him
in
and
his community
CJ
himself.
were getting into an argument too.
Interesting. Repsion and CJ? Interesting.
Yeah, so CJ came in to start arguing and be all like, yeah, she's right, blah, blah, blah. And so they were getting into some argument. So I think he like mixed me in with whatever was happening with them because I think they were arguing over a video or some shit. So he like retweeted me and said that I was getting mad at him for like not making a video or something. And I was like, that's not what we argued about. Like, what the fuck? And then he wouldn't change it and he wouldn't fix it. So I just got really mad at him.
Interesting. Well, what happened after that, would you say? Like in the next step of the internet harassment? Because I know it kept escalating from there, right? I know that Deity was coming after you at one point.
Yeah, well, like right before that, I had shared Regina's tweet about CJ saying that he should be canceled because he was a predator. And I was like, no, we shouldn't do that. And like all this is happening like all in like December.
Yeah, I noticed it was all in a very
I had like a mob of people also yelling at me about CJ then too. I of course got like Heartbeats Vanity. I'm pretty sure Tush showed up then. I had like Spade showed up.
Like how many people would you say after you? Like because since your Twitter was like I think
the whole group of people. Like the whole group of people that are in Suits live streams all of a sudden now that hate CJ. Okay. Like Sir Reginald, Phoenix, No Name, whatever their name is, Kaylee, Heartbeats Vanity.
All the big
I could go on.
People? Like, would you say?
Whole group of them. There's probably like 20 to 30 of them that dedicate their lives to it.
Well, I don't know about like people actively participating, but probably viewers, yes. Viewers, yes. I think so.
Yeah, no, they're all like viewers, except for like Heartbeats Vanity, I guess, has a channel, and Mass Baby used to have a channel. She's April already now. But I think everyone else is a viewer, and they just sit on Twitter all day and YouTube all day and just yell at everyone.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I have one dedicated Twitter troll who responds to everything I write. I've asked him to marry me, but he rejected me.
I had like 30. I had 30 of those, and then they made a subreddit of me.
I found the subreddit. Yes. Beware Queen of Spade.
Yep.
Yes. That's a dedication. I need a hate subreddit of my own, I think. But
it is. What happened? It's a dedication to be stalked that hard and have every single thing you do on the internet and everything in your life from like age 19 to 33 get shared in a subreddit.
Oh, there's some people out there.
They've done some research. Very much
agree with that. I know someone who would very much agree.
Some research, man.
Yes, it's the next level stalking, some interest, right?
Like they've dedicated from December till now to me, to just paying attention to my life.
Would you say that since you started YouTube, you've been like targeted for harm in some way?
What?
Like since you started YouTube, you've been targeted by people for harm?
I just don't care anymore, so I just got fed up of everyone and just started telling everyone to get fucked.
I noticed that recently, but going on from that point, like you said, we're still in December. Yeah, that's okay. Everyone.
Yeah, that was December. And then January came, and then that's when Phoenix got mad.
Yes, I remember some of that.
Well, everyone keeps saying that I got Phoenix kicked out of the RSN Discord. I've been seeing that in places, and I've had people come and ask me, like, why did you get Phoenix, like, just in the last, like, week or so, they're like, why did you get Phoenix kicked out of the RSN Discord? And I'm like, I didn't. Like, she did that to herself.
Okay.
She made up a rumor right before, like, New Year's or something that CJ and I were sending pictures to each other, and went around and told a whole bunch of people and tried to, like, get creators to cover it, I guess, and all this, and I didn't know anything about it for like weeks. It was kept from me. Like CJ kept it from me, Marie kept it.
So that was a rumor at the time.
So
that was just a complete fabrication at the time.
That was a rumor at the time. And then what happened is Deity started doing streams, and he was talking about RSN's next Canadian victim. And I was like, who's your next Canadian victim, CJ? Like, who are they talking about? And then Holly did a stream, and she said it was Yap Yap. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then all of a sudden, like, people started asking me if I was sending nudes. And then Muse was up on a Deity stream saying, if Queen of Spade wants to get a hold of me as a victim, then she can come get a hold of me. And I was like, what is going on?
I'll ask her. I'll have to ask her.
So I went to CJ, and I was like, what's happening with all this? Like, what's going on? And he was like, okay, well, Phoenix made up this rumor, and like, I'm dealing with it. And yeah. I'm not sure if that's when she was supposed to go to the Mayo Clinic, or if her and Sid Chasey Lane did the Discord and she was supposed to go to the Mayo Clinic, but there was something to do with a clinic and she was supposed to go. And I still didn't really know what was going on with anything. But then she was back in the Discord, and I was like, I need you to apologize to me for that rumor. I'm talking about the rumor. I don't know anything about the Discord. And she like flips out, and she's like, I'm not apologizing to you. Like, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. So she got booted. And then afterwards, Marie sent me a DM on Twitter with a screenshot of a Discord with like all pictures of me and Ray Reynolds in it.
Yes, I remember that.
So it came out that I guess the two of them, like right around New Year's, or like shortly after, had like created this Discord or something, and
yeah,
then they doxed his family in it.
Yeah, I do know there were some screenshots going around about that Discord.
Well, it was also because they took to Twitter very shortly after, and they actually started harassing him on Twitter, like really hardcore. It got to the point where he actually had to put out like a tweet saying, do not talk to Sid Vicious and Amber Phoenix about me or like RSN, like they're
okay.
So
all right. Well, we're still in January. Like, what as we go further in January, was there anything else, or?
Yeah, just since then, it's just been like constant calls. PEDCAS called on me. I had like a really hard time in my personal life throughout last year. And so I had some personal things going on, and everything got to me about the end of January. And my mental health was like failing in January. And I think the whole internet was watching that happen. Then I had like a suicidal ideation online that was leading me into an attempt, which was becoming very planned that day. So that ended up being a public thing. And Kaylee and Squiddy, whoever, and Valkyrie 420 decided to attack me during that with a bunch of screenshots of stuff that I had said in like some live stream. So
okay. Okay. Well, chat, we will be taking questions at the end. Don't worry. Trying to keep a timeline in order.
So yeah.
But all right.
So yeah.
As we go a little further into it, like there's some like in those streams, those 12-hour streams, which I have watched. Bitch and Sean, they level some heavy accusations your way.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy accusations. Now, I was hoping maybe you could give me things from your perspective, because I understand things can be taken out of context, maybe. So, like, it's from your perspective, some of these accusations, because they're saying like should we start with an order of severity probably. They're saying number one that you tried to blackmail someone with their nudes. Like what's the story behind that?
I got kind of angry at G-Sniffs because when the drama between like Sue and RSN and I broke out, I had left Suit's Discord, and then they came into the RSN Discord and they were starting crap, and I went to her and I was like, can you delete their stuff? Like, they shouldn't be pulling it in this Discord. She said she had the ability to delete, and she was like, no, I just want to see where the drama goes. So I had actually kind of gotten like mad at her a couple times because she kept then trying to get involved in things, and I was just like, you wanted to see where the drama goes, like, you should be happy with the show now, girl, like, what's your problem? And so I lashed out on her because I had heard that mine were out. I had heard that there was some personal things being told about me that I had said in some conversations with him that like shouldn't get out. A lot of like backstabbing stuff that I was hearing about, a lot of lies about things that he had told me that I've been finding out aren't true. And so I got kind of pissed off, and I was like, you know what, fuck him and fuck his fucking nudes, like, because he likes the fucking revenge porn. I didn't mean it to be like, I'm gonna go off and share his nudes, but I could see why it was taken as that way. That was the end of it, though. The part I don't understand is how it went from like that one message to me then apparently extorting him with them and telling him that he has to then go stop Suit from streaming. Because like, I'm in a position right now where I was getting hate from Heavy Down and still am for not stopping Suit from doing the video on her. And she also blames me for CJ putting her suicide up on the screen. So she blames me for both these things. And there's a lot of other people out there that blame me for them too, with her. Like, she has her own little community. Yeah. So I'm not going to then go to CJ and be like, you have to stop him from streaming about me now, or else I'm going to do this and that to you. Like, that wouldn't. So, like, I don't know why that was said. I don't know if maybe he just flipped out and wanted the drama to stop because he realized that him and I have all the same haters, and they're all now in that chat. Okay. And I had tried to warn him of that, and he was like,
so would you say,
no, you're just...
Did you say the comment was meant to be like a dramatic irony, not an actual threat?
It was supposed to be like exactly like that.
Okay.
It was not supposed to be a threat, because trust me, if I wanted to threaten that, I would have legit been like, I'm going to be posting them all over the place, brah! Like, come on now.
Yeah. Okay. Now, moving on from that, but there's, like I said, you actually mentioned the second accusation. Apparently, you've leaked two people's suicide attempts. These are two accusations now. One of them is that you leaked the Heavy Down one, which you just touched on, and the second one was apparently Suit mentioned something about how he had a suicide, and you in one of the DMs you accidentally leaked that. I would have like censored that part out personally.
Yeah, I probably would have too if he hadn't done a bunch of live streams resulting in a lot of CAS calls to my house.
But, well, how would you say your docs got out there? Because I'll be honest, I was only somewhat paying attention. As like I noticed your docs was already up there. You know what I mean? Like you had it as your name, I think.
What do you mean?
Like on your Twitter,
my name.
On your Twitter account at one point, I think it had like a thing that connected to your name. Like really early.
Yeah, my Instagram's in my name. That's not what was doxed about me, but my maiden name was doxed out. Which would never have been connected to anything. And I know who did that, and that person has since apologized to me for anything that they've done to me.
All right.
As of like 2 days ago, so I don't really want to talk too much on that. But yeah, no, I had that doxed. I had like my street doxed out, so people already knew what street I was on, and I had like my live journal from when I was 19 posted up. I had all kinds of stuff posted up about me. That's where the drug accusations come from, is my live journal when I was 19, because I'm sure we're going to get there soon.
Yeah. Okay, we actually have a question from the chat that's relevant because you mentioned it. What you meant by Arthur wanting you to be nice to Heavy Down? This is an interesting.
Yeah, so as everybody is probably aware, Heavy Down was not very liked in that community. She had, well, no, yeah. So she had that stream with Deity where she came on and she was like going on and on about being in the Navy, and like everyone hated it. Like everyone was like, stop bringing it up. And she interrupted a lot. And then she had said some things about Holly. And as you know, Holly's very well loved in that community as well. So like nobody liked her. CJ was bringing her on. She came on the first time and I had gone off on her like about Holly stuff, about I was a bitch. And so were a lot of us. And she wanted to come on the second stream with him, and apparently she had said something to him like, I'm not going to come on if Queen is like a bitch to me again. So he had come and spoken to me and was like, can you please be nice to her so that she'll come on the stream? And so I was like, okay, like I can be civil. I'm a grown up. I'll do that. So I was doing that. And I know there was a few other people that I even went to that were kind of being rude to her. And I was like, listen, like I have to be nice to her. Like, so I have to be nice to her. Can you just be nice to her? And then she kind of won over some of them. Like, you know, some of them ended up not minding her. I know her and Kanish like made up.
She's a very sweet person sometimes.
Yeah, so it ended up like being all right, and I was just like, okay, well, whatever. It's working out better than we thought. And then, you know, Suit was there, and we saw how that went.
Yeah, I don't know about necessarily stolen valor, but some of that other stuff that just Heavy Down said herself was frankly disturbing.
Well, there was a stream that she came on with CJ and I where she kind of like outed that she had an experience with her teacher when she was underage.
Her Egyptology professor. Yes, I remember.
And he might have like had other, and like it wasn't that worrisome. Like we were all kind of creeped out, but then the part that I think worried most people was when she had mentioned that, like someone asked, "Do you think that he would have had other victims?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, he probably had all kinds of victims." And then everyone was like, "Well."
Yeah.
Whoa, girl.
Definitely not something
there was that.
On a live stream. Yeah.
There's suicide baiting going on. I heard that it happened again. I kind of missed that. And then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the accusations against you. You've been accused multiple times, apparently, of suicide baiting. What is your opinion? Yeah, multiple people have accused other people of suicide baiting in this community, apparently.
The suicide baiting it comes from Kaylee, because she doesn't want to admit that I was already in a bad mental state when she started bombarding me with all these live stream screenshots, and I was telling her to like leave me alone the whole time, telling her I'm not in a good place, go away, I don't want to answer for stuff I've said on a live stream right now, like what are you doing? So she's told everyone that I just my thing that night because of her coming at me. So she says that I suicide baited her, and that's my apparent suicide bait.
Okay. Was this like, were you two friends at the time, or?
Well, the thing with Kaylee is Kaylee came to me in like December. She wanted to talk to me about CJ because she does this with everyone she can. She will find you if you're in his community and she thinks you're getting close. She'll find you. She'll message you. She'll try to tell you about the Harvard chickie. She claims to be best friends with Harvard chickie.
No.
And so she'll come and tell you all about that and tell you all about how awful CJ is and you need to get away from him. And her and I had kind of like gotten along because I guess her mom does MLMs, so she liked the anti-MLM stuff. And so we made it.
He's speaking about the Adorkables, I believe.
We made a deal that Yeah, and we made a deal that she just like wouldn't bug me about the CJ stuff because eventually I was just like, listen, like I'm not gonna come onto your side. I'm not gonna like leave the community. I'm not gonna hate on CJ. Like it's not gonna happen. So like you either have to stop with it or else I'm gonna have to stop talking to you. And she was like, okay, I'll back off. But then end of January came and she used to kind of like try to slip it in every once in a while here and there, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it just
I mean,
freaked me out too because I was like, why are you like watching me on live streams, like SSing everything I'm saying?
yeah, there are some people out there that are very obsessed with doing that. Very obsessed.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand that like behavior.
Personally, I do not post in public discords. I barely ever text chat with people for the most part. That's because people, you know, they do things like that. They leak things. Well, everyone does it.
Yeah,
it's very dangerous.
apparently.
I mean, what would you say? Would you say that, would you ever leak things first, or would you have so many of your things leaked they just broke you? What would you say?
What do you mean? They leaked my stuff and then I just went, I'll talk about it.
Okay. Okay, I was just curious who did the first.
I had brought up on my channel that I had CPTSD just because it pertained to my whole why I left It Works story. Like it was a piece of information that you kind of have to know in order to fully understand why I left the company. So I just kind of briefly mentioned it, but it wasn't like I ever told my stories or like why I had it or ever went into detail with it until people started digging up things about me and then asking me about them and trying to figure out my mental health and blah, blah, blah.
No, they were digging up all sorts of things on you. Apparently they dug up, like, this is a touchy subject. They dug up the amount of the assaults in your area on the, like the date you said of your case or whatever. I mean, that's weird stuff to be digging up on people.
You can't do that.
I saw that in one of the live streams with them. Like, it's one of the things they were talking about.
Here in Canada, those aren't public records. It's different than in the US. So there would be no way to be able to, unless they hacked into the Ottawa police station records to pull up that information.
I don't know what resources they have at their disposal. Could do it.
My sexual assault did happen. It was a lot more serious than what is portrayed. Unfortunately, I did a radio interview about it for CBC. However, even in that radio, I couldn't tell the full story.
You said there's like laws in your country that don't allow you to do that?
Well, right now, yes, I have a publication ban. So what happens here is when you have like a sexual assault case, let's say, they give you a publication ban. So in order for me to talk publicly about it, I would have to go to court and apply to have the ban removed. I actually tried to do that before my like interview that I did with CBC, but they denied me. They said, no, we don't think that you should lift the ban until the court case is done. Once all that's done, then I am free to discuss it. So even for my radio interview, they had to do it anonymously. Like they had to take pictures of me like not showing my face and all that kind of stuff. And the only reason why you would know it's me is because I had some people in my area recognize my voice because I volunteer a lot here at my daughter's school. I like showed up to her school like a day or two later, and one of the teachers came up to me and was like, I'm really sorry, but I have to ask you, like, did you do a CBC interview the other day? I recognized your voice. And I was like, yeah, I just got one of those voices, eh? Like, you'll recognize it.
Awkward conversation, huh?
Luckily, like I said, because of the publication ban, I couldn't go into details.
Yeah.
So it's not like a detailed interview. It's just very, I gave the information I could, but that's what I mean. I even had to withhold some things from that because if I said something wrong in that, and they even talked to me about it before, because the girl before the interview, of course, she's going to be like, we're doing the interview on some sensitive topics, but we have to be careful on some of the things we touch on, because if you say one thing here that's different from your testimony that you gave to the police, because I did a written testimony and they have also video footage of my apartment and stuff. So it's like, if it's different, they can then use the radio against me in my court case. So she's like, we try not to ask too much detail. We're probably not going to ask for like the details fully of what happened, because we don't want you to have to go into all that. But it was mainly about his release, because he got released back into my apartment building. He ended up actually residing here.
I remember seeing something about that. Yes.
Yeah, we didn't know until he was at court, because he came in from outside and like followed me into my building. So I didn't realize that he lived here until like he did his bail and everything. And then they were like, oh yeah, by the way, he lives in your building.
Okay. Now, so basically the main point is that the records in your country are very much so sealed. Like there's no way to access any of that stuff legally for them to make that claim.
No, like what they could do, like, is they could try to look up maybe some of the news stories that came out that day, or like shortly after, but I don't know.
Yeah, they could cross-reference that maybe, but
like I said, the only news source that I would be aware of would be the radio interview I did. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to cover it in a story. I live in Ottawa. It's a huge city. We have shootings here, stabbings every day, a lot of like rapes and very serious gang crimes and stuff. And so I don't want to sound cruel when I say this, but a sexual assault won't make it in my newspaper anyway, unless it's a very big, violent thing.
Interesting. You can search people with the police here in Canada. Is that true?
You could probably apply to like get their records, but the only way that you would be able to do that is if they knew the name of my perp, which they might know now. I mean, I did show because everyone's like, why do you have the bail papers? And I'm like, they send me the bail papers that he gets released out, so that if he breaks his bail, I have the rules. What do you mean?
Okay. Well, good. I mean, at least we got that part cleared up.
So like that's curious, why I have that. It's because, and do you know what? They didn't send that to me for a month, and this guy got released on Halloween, and I was pissed about it.
That's creepy timing.
Gets released back into my apartment building on fucking Halloween, and they're like, oh, and he's not supposed to be outside. I'm like, everyone's in fucking costume. How would I know this motherfucker's even outside right now? Like, worst day ever to release someone back into the public from jail is Halloween.
Oof. Yeah. Now, what about the specific heavy down situation? Like, apparently, like I said, that's one of the things with leaking suicides. Like, she's made very heavy accusations against you, as far as that goes. Like, what is the backstory to that? Because I understand that you said that you weren't too sure on heavy down at first.
Well, no, I didn't like her because of the things, like the way she acted on that stream, and then the things she said about Holly, and the fact that she was like, I don't like Diety, and she was Diety's mod, so I just didn't like her. But then, like I said, after she was in, like, she kind of grew on me a little bit. I was like, okay, like, I can deal with her. Like, it's not a big issue. But Suit questioned her stolen valor, and I was like, I don't know. Like, it could be. She does talk about it a lot. Like, the first stream, she drove everyone nuts. I don't know.
I'm still not too sure on it either. It's still an iffy, like what the definition of stolen valor would be, because I don't know.
Well, see, the thing is that what happened was her and Suit got into their argument. She was already in my inbox all the time because she had decided that me, her, and CJ were like best friends. So she was like always in my inbox and always in my inbox about CJ all the time. And then when her and Suit got into the fight and she left the Discord, I had her in my inbox going off about Sue, and then I had Suit in my inbox, all like, what the hell's up with this SJW bitch? Like, and so what happened was I'm trying to like calm her down in some way because I'm like, it really wasn't that bad. Like, he just questioned a spelling error in your book, like, kind of wigged out a little bit there.
And then she like left the Discord after the 165.
But then she was
IG
like
comment.
making such a huge deal of it afterwards too. Like, it was this awful thing, and she couldn't believe that CJ would allow someone like him in the community to treat her that badly, and CJ's supposed to be her friend, and like just like going off.
Yeah, and would you who have you ever made the accusation of suicide baiting, or like was that other people?
Well, what happened was she told me that she was committing suicide and she went off the internet for half an hour, and I kind of like freaked out because I'm writing her and she's not responding. And what happened is she told me she wanted to commit suicide. I kind of talked her down. And then she was just like, fuck this, I'm going to go do it right now. And then like disappeared. So I was like, oh my God, she just said she was going to go do it right now. So I message her and I'm like, stop, like, come back here. I need you to answer me. And I'm trying to message. She didn't answer me back for a little while. I'm freaking out. So I was like, she had a Discord. It only had like 10 people in it, maybe. And it was hers. It wasn't CJ's Discord. It was her Discord. And I would have considered it even to be a private Discord. She had made it pretty apparent when she created it that she only wanted people that she trusted in there, and that it was supposed to be kind of like a private Discord for her.
Yeah, she kicked all my spies out, so yeah, it's pretty secure over there.
Well, yeah, and at that time, like, I don't know if it's the same one or not, but there was literally only 10 of us in there, if that. Like, at the most, there was 10 of us in there, including her, kind of thing. And so it was really just the people that she felt like she could trust, and she did feel like it was private. CJ has an issue with thinking that all Discords are public. So if CJ's in your Discord, everything that ever gets put in that Discord is fair game for him to use. Which has been like kind of a thing. So he had been getting mad at me for posting in his Discord sometimes because I became private, because him and I were doing a thing. So I became private. I was no longer supposed to be posting in the Discord. So I went and I posted in that Discord. I never thought that CJ would share it. He had made a deal with me that he would never ever use anything that I said or anything I did as content or ever put it up on his screen. That was like a personal, private deal him and I had made. He even said we'd never talk about each other if we ever got into a fight, anything ever happened, never talk about each other, never use each other. It was a promise that we had made like a little while ago.
Similar promise.
So I never thought that he would take that and then go live stream within minutes of me posting it in there. And I was really pissed because I was like, I have a whole subreddit of people that are already talking about me and suicide baiting, already accusing me of telling people to go kill themselves. Now you've gone and done this live stream where you take this message of me talking to Heavy down about suicide. She's going to be in my subreddit tomorrow. Like, this is going to cause a bunch of shit for me. And he was like, no, it's not. Like, you're being stupid. You know that it's public. You know everything posted in a general Discord is public. And I was like,
yeah.
That interview would just be her screaming about me the whole time.
Here's the thing, okay? Me and Heavy Down were cool. We had done three separate apologies for some reason. I need 3. Which I was fine.
I remember that, yes.
I don't need a 4th one, okay? I might need a 4th one now. what she was doing, apparently what she was watching Suit stream, basically. And I posted something about how I thought people false flagging things was dumb. It's not cool to do. Okay. And apparently then minutes after that, I was getting messages saying like, I trusted you, and like just weird shit flipping out on me. I was like, okay, whatever. I don't know.
No false flagging, because she false flagged me too, and I'm pretty sure that she false flagged Sue, because I just had someone message me and tell me that apparently he can't stream on his main channel anymore, so he was streaming on another channel, and apparently I'm being blamed for this for some reason, and I'm really pissed off because they already tried to bait me with Joyce to see if I would flag him. So, and I was like, no, don't flag. I'm against flagging. I've had other people come to me and be like, I want to flag Suit's videos down because I find them really mean about you. And I've been like, don't do that, because he's just going to blame me. And then he's going to do a stream where he talks about how I'm false flagging him.
Interesting. So
or
is it
I'm
Joyce?
Gonna get
Is
false
that their full
by
name,
like
or
Kaylee, Valkyrie,
is there like
Phoenix.
an additional letter at the end of it on their username? Is that Joyce K individual?
Yeah.
Interesting. They were also publicly, while I had spies and everything watching, trying to get people to bait me. It was interesting.
Oh.
They're an interesting individual. Apparently, they just go around causing chaos. Anyway, don't worry, chat. We will soon be taking questions. I think we're just got to cover a few more things, and then I will open up to you people. All right, we good?
Yep.
All right. Let's see. I think in terms of severity, the next accusation, they say you're a chronic DM leaker. That you like, if you send you a private message, everyone's gonna see it.
No.
No, you don't do that.
No, I leaked Heavy Down's DMs because she said that I like gassed her up about the suicide. Okay. And she also made some accusation that I was coming to her with private stuff. So yeah, that's why.
All right.
So yeah, that was why.
Well, you said there was like someone else who, like, I know you leaked some, like, was it Suits DMs as well? Like there was a few other people.
Yeah, I leaked CJ's DMs and Suits DMs. Yeah.
Are there any others you can think of? Like, if you had like reasons, like you said that they leaked yours first, correct? Is that what you're saying at one point?
No. I leaked CJ's because he was making a lot of real false claims about me. And Suits was just to kind of explain why I didn't let him be there for me, I guess, in a weird way, because Suit used to get kind of upset with me when he couldn't make things better with me, if that makes sense.
Okay. And what do you mean? Like he would get upset with you? Like
he always wanted to fix things.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. So when you started, as you started to, like I said, all these controversies started to begin. You had all these people who don't even have YouTube channels, like I said, coming after you, but they're still like, you just say they're prominent members in the community, but they're respected.
Well, they're well known in the community, and a lot of them are well known for doing really serious stuff to people. Like Kaylee in Reality Check, or they doxed Joyce Sparkle's boyfriend. And there's a lot of them are known for doing some really cruel, mean things to a lot of people, so a lot of people won't speak out about them.
RSN made some very heavy accusations that Adorkables, that the Kaylee individual was there just to record things to get him arrested. I was like, Jesus, this person sounds hardcore.
That was I know that what that might have been was Chasey had obtained a recording of a conversation that he, like, RSN and I had in private about Harvard Chickie. It's up on the Sid Vicious channel, and yes, they took that conversation and they did bring it to the court, and he did get in trouble for talking to me about Harvard Chickie in a private voice chat conversation that was just supposed to be between us two. But I guess you could say we were illegally recorded. But then people don't care about that because then they just turn around and they say, well, he legally records people, without forgetting, like, I've never legally recorded anyone. Do we care? Anyone? I don't do that. I got legally recorded.
I think if you're on the internet, you have to assume that unless you truly trust a person, everything you say is being recorded or is going to be reposted somewhere else. That's the advice.
Yeah, well, Kaylee did that to herself, though. She very openly bragged on Twitter that she was the one that ensured to take that conversation and get it to Harvard and ensure that it was brought to the courts.
Oh, that is.
She's very involved in trying to hurt him and anyone that is connected to him, hence why she likes me so much.
Interesting. I don't know.
Like that's all true. The only thing that frustrates me is it's like, they'll be like, oh, she's a psycho because she says these things are happening to her. And then he'll turn around and do a live stream with Holly where they'll both be like, oh, but we're going through all of these things with all the same people. It's just Queen's lying about it.
Okay. Now here's another accusation. Now this one is one that I have evidence for, actually. You even said you have spies. Is it true you have a spy network of your own? I have one.
I don't even need to set any up. They just do it for free for me. Like,
yeah.
I know, it's great. Yeah, they just send me stuff all the time. Yeah.
Right.
I just chill here.
That's a good accusation to have against you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, a queen should have
to do anything. I even had one of my real life friends end up in my subreddit to poke around and spy for me, and I never even had to ask for that either. It just kind of happened. I was like, cool.
Oh, I was poking around in the subreddit a little bit before this interview just to see if anything new had posted. There was a nice video. Would you like to watch it? It's just a short little music video, actually.
Is it a music video?
It's kind of like it's one of those things with all these screenshots or whatever, but it's to music. It's the "You're a Cunt" song, apparently.
Oh, so they took it from Stu. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you want to watch it?
And is it all mine? Is it all mine? Is it me yelling at everyone?
It's you yelling at everyone. Yes, these giant walls of text, which are just.
Because I think what they did too is, I know that I did flip out the Night of the Heavy Down in RSN server, so I think they took those, and then they tried to say that was my flip out in the Suit server.
Okay, well, you have a lot of you are very good at typing. I mean, you could out type the best of us because
I can type 210 words per minute.
I believe it. I mean, I've seen you type out some serious stuff quickly in these things.
Yeah.
That's impressive. You're one of the reasons I will never win an argument in like a text message, because people can just out text me. I'm like, I can't keep up with that. But yes, I suspected you were good at typing because of the way you can. Because people were like, another accusation against you that you had like some voice to text program. I was like, nah, there's no way.
No, I type.
Okay. Well, does the chat have any questions? I know the chat's been dying to ask. Yes, I'm talking about the Valkyrie video. Yes. That was
Valkyrie's my stalker. Valkyrie came at me about a masked babe.
A dedicated stalker.
Yes, Valkyrie made her whole Twitter about me. One of the people that opened the subreddit became very obsessed with me because I was trying to bait Masked Babe and accuse her of the Amanda Todd stuff. And Valkyrie decided that she wanted to stick up for Masked Babe. And she's been going at me ever since, demanding evidence and then just chasing me around the internet. She'll rate everyone that talked to me. And yeah.
Iris, your question about the nudes has already been answered. I believe the conclusion we came to from her perspective, it was not meant as a threat. It was to be a dramatic irony that got right. Would you say it was? Would you say you claim it's taken out of context and everything?
Well, and I also don't have any clue where like the extortion stuff came from. Because I did hear that CJ came up on his stream and said that I actually extorted him for his nudes and told him like, if you don't stop Stu from streaming, yeah, I'm going to and that never happened. I have no clue what anyone's talking, like why that was said.
From my perspective, that as it's been told to me, is just wild. It's an absolutely wild story. Is that basically, now this is the order of events as it's been told to me. You had the quote unquote blackmailing incident, then that caused CJ to lose his mind, going onto that stream, starting to say that, oh, you didn't really make $500 in a stream, and it's basically making a fool out of himself on Suit's live stream, calling him a liar. And Suit basically threw it back in his face because he was acting like an asshole. And those two had their falling out from that incident. Okay, but the impetus from that they're claiming is because you were allegedly blackmailing, and that's why he went in there and did that. Well, I don't know. Maybe he took what you said, like I said, took the dramatic irony out of context and then lost his mind. Would you say? Because didn't someone run it off to him? Maybe.
Well, it would have been G-Sniffs doing that message, but there was no extortion or anything. I got rid of everything that I had on him. Everything's deleted.
Okay.
I don't have anything, so that wouldn't have been able to happen anyway. I've deleted conversations and everything. My husband and I are working things out, so I don't want anything to do with his conversation being in my inbox, so I wouldn't have kept it.
Well, since you have like insight into his character, like what do you think was the reason he went in there and flipped out on that live stream the way he did?
I don't really. I honestly, I don't know, because as far as I'm concerned, he shouldn't have cared about me being streamed about. So I think he just was. I think he might have been flipping out over who was in the chat.
Yeah, there was some of that as well. Definitely.
Because like that's the only thing I can think of, because he wouldn't have cared I was being streamed about.
Okay. Well, like what is your current opinion? Because I've seen like some back and forth. What is your current opinion of Real Stream News currently? Like what are your thoughts on it? I know he just did a stream about you.
I just recently found out that there was a lot of lies anyway, in terms of involvement with his child. Things that were said about me behind my back the whole time anyway. So my opinion is that he is a liar and a manipulator, and he likes to gas girls up to stick up for him and use them in any way he can. And then when he's done with them, then he discards them like garbage and then tells everybody that they're insane. And it's happened over and over and over again. And it happens, and he gets away with it because most of us, like myself and Raina and Phoenix and Tush and Heartbeats Vanity, have anxiety or some kind of mental health disorder or some rumor about us or something going on at the time.
And beef with each other as well, right? You're divided and conquered. So
I think they're all together and I'm over here because I don't want any part in anything any of those people are doing and never have. Okay. I just only get insulted now when I get grouped in with those people because I'm also fighting those people. So I'm like, well, I'm not like these people. I'm telling them to go away. What do you mean?
Someone is asking about the timeline a little bit. like, had you already ended the affair?
It was would have been around second live stream.
Excellent.
So we were still during the first 2 live streams, and he recently said he found the first 3 funny. So just take what you will from that. Just keep that in mind. I found that interesting.
All right.
The other thing is, like, they both knew that, like, who Kaylee was and that she was coming back. She was bragging all over Twitter about using Reality Check to, like, get Suit to deep dive into him and stuff. And I sent it to them. So
Okay.
I don't know if Suit's, like, doing it on purpose now, or I don't know.
I think they're doing it because they can poke and prod you and get a funny reaction for themselves. I think that, like, being more, like, closed in and reserved would probably be more of a protective type thing. That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people on YouTube that have a similar issue, where, like, if you expose yourself, it kind of leaves you vulnerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about personal things. You know, you've aired a lot of personal things, you know, on the internet that has been used against you and things like that. Would you say?
More like they got exposed, so then I brought them up to tell the real story, because people like to expose things about me and tell it in a fake way, like with my sexual assault. So they'll dig at me like that. They'll be like, oh, it's just an ass grab, it's just an ass grab, and they'll spread it all around. And then eventually I feel the need to come out and explain to everyone what the actual story is. And that's kind of what's been happening.
Yeah.
But I never came out here to be like, I'm going to start talking about all of the personal things to do with myself. And
like, what, like, would you say they just, like, eventually they just found, like, where it all began anyway, they immediately just found these things? Okay. And then, like, would you say they've compelled you to bring it up? Like,
yeah.
You weren't talking about anything personal before that?
No, like I said, the only thing that I'd really mentioned that was super personal about myself was that I had CPTSD, but it was just kind of mentioned because I was telling my It Work story, and it has to do with me leaving because of a medication they were trying to get people with that to replace. So I just mentioned I had it, and that's why I knew it was bad to, like, use a product to replace your medication for it, was because I suffered from it. And then that was the end. And that's really all I said about it. Never went into detail about it or anything like that until I just recently did a video on it, where then I finally touched on it, because then I have people doing live streams claiming that I have it because of my last assault, or I have it because my husband's apparently abusive now as well.
Is that a new one? Is that a new one they're leveling?
I don't know. I've had a couple of people now ask me about that, so I don't.
You've got to be careful, because sometimes people ask you if, like, certain allegations are true that don't exist. They will just create things and then send it to you. I've had a few of those myself.
Well, apparently I've had some of that happening, because I don't know what's going on with, like, the wizard and like accusations to do with that. But I had somebody come and tell me that they were going to use me in some way and Kaylee's voice in order to, like, child bait CJ or make a video. And the joke was because I look underage, so he must be a pedo.
I didn't see anything that looked like there was any kind of pedo baiting going on. I saw some weird stuff, but I don't see anything. I think it's a weird leap to go from what, like, a child's voice and, like, being recorded to pedo baiting. Personally, I don't know.
Well, I think it's because it came from the wizard kept saying that I looked underage, and he kept making accusations about how CJ must be attracted to young girls because I looked like I was 16 and I was underage. And then there was, apparently I look like Momo, so then they were going to use that and try to say that, yeah, he was a pedophile.
There's someone in the chat that you would like to talk to. would you like to address that real quick? My business associate, about the accusations that you called them an RSN victim. Can we get that cleared up?
Who?
Oh, that is the one as Muse Talks, or formerly Muse.
I know Muse isn't an RSN victim.
No. You were saying that she claimed you were an RSN victim at one point,
Yeah,
right?
she said something on the Deity stream about how they were talking about RSN briefly, and then she said that I could get a hold of her as a victim.
Okay, so was that just some misinformation? Most likely, probably not, because I know that Deity likes to.
No, I watched her say it on the live stream.
Had Deity
I sat there and watched her say it. Was it one of her altars?
After that point,
I'm just gonna start saying that from now on. Whenever I piss someone off, I'll just be like, "I'm sorry, guys. That was one of my altars. That must have been Bethany or some shit."
Well, I don't know. I haven't actually seen the footage from those interviews, so I can't confirm or deny that, because he privates all his live streams as well. So I don't know. I do know the interview that she.
Oh, Deity with. Yeah, no, he probably privated
it. Here's the thing that I've heard a few people around that time claiming you were a RSN victim. So I don't know who started that rumor.
Well, I don't know either, but it was. Well, it would have come from Phoenix and that rumor. Okay. And basically, anytime a girl gets close to CJ, then a bunch of people just run around saying that you're going to be his next victim anyway. So that's what happens. Unless I'm lying about it because I'm crazy. Don't believe me. Just go believe CJ and Holly, I guess.
Yes. What is your issue with Holly, would you say?
My issue with Holly is just that she's watched a lot of this shit go down. She knows the hate that the girls get in the community. She's been around for 2 years or something. She's watched CJ do the same thing to these girls over and over and over again. And I just she knows the hate that people like Kaylee and them bring. And she's never once stuck up for me. So I just get fed up with her. It's because her and CJ acts like I exaggerate it or make it up. And it's no. And then she said something about how I was supposed to know that her dog got shot 2 years ago. I was here 2 years ago. And I'm I don't fucking know about this.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, here's a question. Because you said that this association started around the second shoot stream, right? In terms of the timeline.
Yeah.
So would you say that is accurate?
Yeah, which would have been I think the first one with the cartoon of me, I believe. Because he did the stream about. Now, the funny thing is, I did the wizard reply, and actually, CJ supported me doing that.
Him and the wizard seem to have an issue.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. I think the wizard just got obsessed with him. I don't know. But I definitely got brought up into that somehow. Apparently, I said something about the wizard, but I don't ever remember him coming up until I was mentioned by him and Sue streamed about him.
Interesting.
But if he would have done a stream or something where he said something about CJ and then CJ watched it, then I would have been mean to him.
I know that there's some accusations going around that he went after you pretty hard, apparently.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he did before, because I had a few people named Chahulu. I know everybody loves how much I say that. Chahulu. Yeah, a couple of those people that came at me, in January, February anyway. So I've always wondered if he was maybe one of them. There's a few people named Chahulu out here.
It's Cthulhu, right?
No, it's Chahulu. It's Chahu?
Okay.
Chahu?
All right. Well, here's a good question. Are you doing better?
Yes, I am doing better. I've been doing better since then. They actually had left me alone for a little while in March, even until the heavy down stuff happened, and that's why I didn't want that to happen, because I knew I was going to bring all the people back.
Okay.
But I've been doing well. I just ignore most of them. I got kicked off of Twitter too. Like they mass reported me, some Sacred Hearts person. I don't even know who the hell that is, and like a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah, I haven't managed to get kicked off Twitter, and I tweet at the CEO of Twitter horrible things sometimes. So
yeah, no, they mass reported me. I had a big campaign to like mass report and get me kicked off. So they did that, and I got kicked off like the day after Valentine's. But like, I have a lot of people out there that are like, "Oh, she came at me like at the end of February, screaming at me on Twitter," and I'm like, I wasn't even fucking on Twitter then. Like, what are you talking about? And I know in my subreddit, like, I had some random streamers that like went in there and they were like, she came and bugged me to be on a stream, and I was like, I don't even know who you are. Who is this person? Like, it's really weird. YouTube's weird.
Have you been in contact at all?
No.
None at all.
No.
Have you blocked him as well?
No, that's a lie. We had a few emails back and forth. That mainly involved CJ yelling at me to take things down.
Okay.
And then privating. He privacy struck me a couple times.
Oh.
And I yelled it back at him a few times, and that was really it. He just came at me to be like, he blames me for the drama, so.
Interesting.
Because I apparently control like his hate mob now somehow. So I don't know. And it's been like that for a while, because every time that I came to him and I was like, listen, these people are calling like cops on me again. Like they just came here the other day. Like this is getting to be too much. He'd be like, don't bring me this fucking shit. This isn't my problem. Stop bringing me into drama.
Hold on. I'm looking for any questions. I feel like some of my questions are getting lost in the chat ever so slightly. But anyway, going forward from that point, like what are your plans? Because I know you said before that you were done with drama, but it seems to not be the case. So what are your plans going forward?
I don't have anything else to do with this, because one of my main issues was I had a group of people that really wanted me to frame CJ. And they were basically not going to leave me alone. I feel like Kaylee and them have to get, like, they're going to get bored eventually. They're going to have to move on because I'm not around CJ anymore anyway. So, like, they don't have a reason to come at me anyway. But there was a few other people that were really hardcore wanting me to either do, like, some kind of video where I just talk mad shit or say that he groomed me to send pictures and I'm a victim and blah, blah, blah. And we got into like a semi-little argument, and then I did a public announcement that I would do the frame job if they would just leave me alone like they said. And my hope was that everyone would be smart. But apparently nobody is smart that I'm dealing with out here. So they were all like, she's going to frame him. And I was that goes to show you how stupid these people are out here, that I could actually publicly announce that I'm going to do something like that. And then these people would all get ready to believe me.
Okay. I love the trolling attempt. I'm a big fan. Believe me. Okay. But
it wasn't even a trolling attempt. The best part was that
there were people actually
one of these idiots actually told me it would probably be a good idea. That's the best part. Is that they also were like, yeah, that. I was
I'm just saying, just maybe scale that.
You want me to publicly announce that I am going to frame him and then like wait a week and then frame him? You want me to do that? I will so fucking do that. And then honestly, I also heard that Heartbeats Vanity was about to do a stream where she was gonna say some stuff, and I was like, good luck now, bitch.
Do you plan to continue doing like your normal MLM content since you're like moving on from the drama?
I've been doing my normal anti-MLM content the whole time.
I know you've been doing it like in between, and then you've been like removing some of those old drama videos and like making new ones.
Well, to be honest with you, I had put up some drama videos actually sticking up for some idiot, and then I decided to take them down because why should I stick up for people that don't stick up for me?
I mean, that makes sense. You know, you gotta have each other's back. So, I know some of the older drama videos were also related to the anti-O community. I don't know if those are still up. Those would probably get you actually some respect now.
Yeah, they definitely didn't at the time. But yeah, I think I still have a couple of those up. I know I have my bite model on anti-RSN that was like half fun and half real information. Some people got mad at me over it though, because they wanted like more proof of the behavior. Like, we haven't all been on Twitter this whole time or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, I think that one's still up. And I think I have my anti-O mob got out of control video still up.
Okay. So,
but yeah, I'm not going to be doing anything on drama. And Sue wanted me to apologize. So I actually just went on his live stream and that he was just doing. And first thing I see when I go on there is someone making some claim about me. I'm like, hey, you're wrong. And then now I went to go apologize and I went to say, I am sorry if I misspoke something that you said. However, me misspeak one sentence, you make up 50 lies and do 12-hour live streams. Like, do we not understand this? Am I like the only one? So I don't know. I have to apologize, but I'll apologize for my one misstatement. But I think he should also have to apologize for the like drug claims and other, because that's another thing that he's done is say that I was on drugs.
I think. I don't think they seriously believe you're like. I think they called you like a meth. They look like a meth head. I don't think I've been called a meth head before.
But that's the thing that they don't understand. Like, Soup doesn't understand in his head that the people that he's around right now, anything he says about me, they then take, decide it's true, and then they actually do call the police. Like, I've had the police come to my house for dealing drugs with CJ twice.
Wow.
Like, that's what I mean. So when I say like I'm having issues that are becoming real life and cops are coming in my home and it's involving fucking RSN, I actually mean the cops are coming here because people are calling them saying she and him are dealing drugs together. And then the cops come up here and they're like, who is this person on the internet you're dealing drugs with? And then I have to like be like, wow.
Yeah. Now, would you like? Yeah. So you talk about the 12-hour live stream. I don't know how many hours the total he's done, but I know most of those live streams. It is broken up. It's not all about you. It's not quite as bad. But he's done quite a bit of content on you, going through a lot of screenshots to say the least.
He's done more content on me than he has on Onision.
Yeah. I mean, I think Heavy Down has you beat. I think he really likes Heavy Down.
That's funny because I feel like in these communities they trade me in for Heavy Down.
There is a meme, I think, where like I think it's Heavy Down like flipping out, like shaking rapidly, and it evolves into you, or vice versa, one of the two. Yeah,
people like to compare me to Heavy Down because they claim that I suicide baited. But I mean,
I have seen the live streams where you are where you freak out about the trolls and everything. They're nowhere near as bad as her. I can tell you that much.
I don't think I've had a live stream where I've actually full up freaked out.
Well, I mean, I think it's gotten flustered. That would be a better term. You've gotten flustered, I would say. Like, kind of, you've gotten
But
heated at them.
there was a couple live streams that I actually did with CJ about that, and also Marie. There was the live stream about the Discord. I know that.
Yes, I think you went on. Like, I know you went on there once to deny the nudes thing with when Phoenix was spreading the rumor. So
Yeah,
you've been on there a few times. Yeah.
which is an.
Hold on. Wait for her to come back. Irish, we touched on this a little bit. I think there was like a misunderstanding that occurred there. I think that's what Queen said, and that we'll wait till they come back so they can clarify themselves. Yep, they're frozen for me too, guys. So, chat, how you doing? Oh, we lost them. We shall wait for their return. So, chat, what have you been doing? How was your day? They'll likely return very shortly. Well, hello there, Gravy. Nice to meet you. That people were asking her for RSN's nudes? Interesting. Okay. We'll see if they make it back. I wouldn't surprise me if people were. Would not surprise me at all. Kanish, we don't know. We don't have any proof of that. Okay. We don't have any proof of that. I don't believe in the whole respect your pronouns thing. Okay. So I'm going to, I mean, I don't think you're a collective, but they have a right to view you as a collective. I'm sorry. We don't enforce the pronouns on this channel. That's interesting. Is she actually refer to you as a collective? I haven't heard that personally, but if I catch that, that's going to make me laugh. We actually touched on that. Apparently, that was meant to be a dramatic irony from her perspective, not an actual threat. Although I have no doubt this interview will be picked apart and prodded at, and people have screenshots up. So I'm curious to see what the results will be. Just waiting for them to return. If they aren't back in the next 10 minutes, I will likely wrap it up. So, what's going on? Oh, they're back. Hello?
Hey, sorry, my internet is like.
Oh, I've had some issues myself sometimes. Don't worry.
My computer's being silly.
Play a lot of those MMO type games, so it's like the internet goes out, I get all mad.
My internet also likes to like reboot on me right now at weird times.
Okay, we've got two things we need to bring up. First off, an apology has been issued. And then we're going to get into some questions that I saw while you were gone. despacito. But all right, and then the question. Definitely curious about this one, if people were actually doing that. Like, were people actually asking, or
Yeah, I had a couple of people ask.
okay, that doesn't surprise me at all that people were like, hey, leak them to me, leak them to me.
I had people that wanted them to be leaked because they
That
heard that I said I was going to leak them.
oh, they would feel justified, I guess, because he's done it, and then that's
And that
why
was
they
the
would get that.
reason. That was the only reason why people that weren't mad at me for saying that apparently weren't mad.
Yeah, a lot of people believe turnabout is fair play, but I don't know. That was chaotic because apparently, like you said, you claim it was not even a threat. It was just an irony.
It was, yeah. And then it turned into something really big that it should have never turned into because
that's why you gotta be very careful what you post.
We haven't really spoken since before that, other than via a couple emails where he just asked me to take down the Kaylee video.
Yes, I remember. I remember like the Kaylee video. That was
he wrote me and was all like, "What are you doing, Queen? Take that video down right now. Why are you trying to create all this drama for me?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Okay, I am looking through the chat real quick because I know that there are people. Oh, we'll bring this up real quick. Apparently, you refer to Kanish as you all. Is there a particular reason why you believe that he's multiple people?
Yeah, I think Kanish has DID as much as Muse does.
Okay, interesting.
No, I'm just joking. You think she has it. We'll have to talk about that later, you and I. But no, I just often group people with the same views in the same group of people.
Okay, you believe that you well. I get what you mean. The collective mob, the globalists, so to speak. But,
Yeah.
But I think
Kanish isn't usually one of them, but I had heard recently that he was stirring up the pot a little bit.
Kanish is a little bit of a troll. I mean, he seemed like, I think you were in his Discord at one point. He seemed to be at least trying to be kind of nice.
No, me and Kanish usually get along really well. I just don't need anybody that's going to be like stirring the pot over here at all. Because there's enough of that going on.
Okay. Well,
I already know that there's some people that are saying things that aren't
some
true.
could argue I am stirring the pot as we speak.
Yeah, well, some people didn't want me to come on here. But you're gonna be accused of being a simp even more now. That will probably happen. Because now you're simping for me, you know?
They're gonna tell me I'm creating a harem of crazy women.
Well, I mean, I don't know why they'd be so mad, because isn't it better you than him?
Yeah.
You think they would be relieved and be like, yeah, here, take them.
Yeah. That's right. We're gossiping up in here, Hogan. Gossiping.
No, we don't do gossip. That would be the other people. But no, I think you just wanted to know what was going on.
Yeah, I don't think there had been a comprehensive like breakdown of your perspective through all the events.
No, I'm usually silenced until that I'm not supposed to talk about it. I've had a lot of times where I'm not allowed to talk about things.
Yeah.
Messages disappear in Discords like nothing, just like gone.
I think messages disappear in the YouTube chat sometimes too.
Yeah, they can.
Like, I'm like paying attention to it, and I like have people telling me they wrote these extra long questions. Like I don't see anything, but I can go up pretty far. Anyway, it's interesting. So, as we were saying before, like, is there any other accusations that you have against you that I have not mentioned that you want to bring up? Because I know there's a lot.
I don't know. I think we brought up all the ones I know about. I know there's some out there that I don't even know of. I'm sure I'll find out all the things that I've apparently been doing. There's some accusations that I've told people to kill themselves because of some sarcastic tweets I did.
Well, I can't judge people too much for that. I'm guilty of that myself. I'm a mean person sometimes. That's why I don't interact with people. It doesn't go well.
I just don't interact with stupid very well.
Me neither.
It just ends up in me getting mad and telling them to like F off, and then they tell me that I'm bullying them, and then they go make a subreddit or something, and I'm like, okay.
That subreddit, by the way, like I said, that's dedication. It's got a lot of activity for only like what is it, like 100 some subscribers, 200 some subscribers, something like that.
How many do I have?
No, like the subreddit has like
I don't even know. I stopped counting in that subreddit, but it was up to like 80 the last time I went. Yeah, it was about 100, probably active. Up bigger now. Yeah, the funny thing though is that I used to share the subreddit to be like, check out this bullshit. Like, this is a fucking joke. And then people are now like this, some of the same people that like came back and would be like, yeah, this is like so stupid, are now like, oh my God, look what the subreddit says.
Yeah, like I said, subreddit is interesting. I would love to just, whoever started that subreddit, like to get them on, like, what encouraged you to do that?
Well, it would have been Valkyrie. I think it's like Reality Check, and I don't know who the other person is. Like, I don't even know. I don't know these people. They just like got obsessed with me for having an opinion and then demanded that I talk to them about it. And when I'm like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, and I block them, they create like 50 accounts. And then I publicly had to ask Valkyrie to leave me alone on Instagram because they started writing, like, everyone that added me on Twitter, they would like write to and be like, stay away from Queen, she's this evil person, like being all Kaylee about me. And I was just like, I need you to stop and like go away. Like, showed up on my Instagram, my Facebook, all over my Twitter. I was like, just go away. So I had some people that were like, well, you know, usually if you ask them to go away and then they don't listen, then you like ask them publicly in like a post or something. And then if they don't listen, then you do a video. And then if they don't listen, then you can proceed with like charges and stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll just do that. Yeah. So I posted her up on an Instagram and I was like, leave me alone. And then she was like, you're slandering me on Instagram. And
yeah, we should have a conversation about that. About the, how many YouTubers have you threatened to call the police?
How many YouTubers?
Like I know you did it to Loki. You said, didn't Loki was claiming you threatened to call the police on him?
I never threatened to call the police on Loki.
You never did?
No.
Okay. Like there were things saying that
I think I said something to Repsion about it.
Like I remember there being like a thing that,
but I was like fucking with him, and I thought he knew it. He was like fucking with me back. I thought we were like trolling each other with it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
because he was like, "You're gonna send the Mounties after me or something," and I was like, "I don't know what I said," but I was like being a brat. The only person that I've said the only people I've called the police on are Amber Phoenix, Sid Vicious, Valkyrie 420, and now Kaylee.
Okay.
That's it. Other than that, like in terms of threats, I believe I told CJ that I would call the police on him if he like did something.
Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
I think that's it though. I don't even remember if I did or not. But like that would have been the only other person.
Okay. All right.
Because I never threatened to call the police on Sue. He's in Australia. Like,
no, I don't think
that would be even harder for me than like dealing with. Because the thing is, like, it's going to take me forever to go through with Valkyrie and Phoenix and Sid because they're in the U.S. Whereas Kaylee's in Canada. She's in the same province as me, apparently. So like she might get charged in a few months here, whereas they might take longer because it's a different country.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I never heard
And
anything
people
about
don't understand,
on the
like,
top of the
these
stuff. I
people
never
have
heard that.
used the services. Like, they've been discovered now for calling falsely on me enough times here that, like, they're not pleased.
Like, is it specific people that you know of, or is it just like a bunch of people in general?
No, it's specific people. I've had, like, she's admitted to doing it. I had somebody else admit to doing it, and then I know who did the other calls, and I'm pretty sure that Kaylee's responsible for more than one because she's apparently very adamant about my child being in danger, even though you could see my child is absolutely fine on Instagram.
Okay. I think this is something we touched on a bit earlier. Would you say that there was like some miscommunication there, that you thought that Suit was saying something that he wasn't? Because I think the context to that is
that Suit used to be in my inbox all the time making fun of how CJ was kind of a cuck.
Okay.
Not directly calling him one, but he used to like allude to the fact that CJ doesn't know what he's doing with streaming, and CJ's kind of dumb, and CJ. So I just meant like in that I know that he never thought all that highly of him.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Like,
well,
they may have been friends, but he also thought he was kind of a joke the whole time.
Well, what my interpretation of events was, at least from the things I have seen, was that basically you basically had misinterpreted something when he was defending CJ at that point. Okay. Well, if going into that context, maybe I can see why that would happen. That you were defending CJ at one point, and then all of a sudden you somehow run off to him. You run off to him, I think, telling him that like he's making fun of him when he wasn't. And that's something that occurred. That was that never.
Not that I know of. I do know that I tried to warn about the people that he was around.
Okay.
But I don't, like, that would have been during my response to the wizard video, I believe, when I mentioned something about him where it was mentioned that he was a cuck or something.
Okay.
And
Well,
I think what he was, my understanding was that Stu like tried to say that he was repeating it because the wizard had said something to that effect. So he was like sticking up for him and repeating it. And then I misinterpreted it, but the way that he said it made me think that maybe he was doing almost like a play on words with it because of how I knew he thought of him.
Yeah, that is the Hogan. That
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make Hogan. That is the second story I heard going around for what happened there. Basically, Sid was quoting the wizard.
But really, like, what our fight actually started from between me and Sue was the wizard had apparently done a whole bunch of research on me, had obviously been in my subreddit and knew a bunch of stuff about me as well. And he and Mugnuts, aka Mugnuts, had a conversation. And the conversation wasn't supposed to have anything to do with me, but he was obviously using me to, like, I don't know, bait Suit and CJ or something into like getting freaking out or something. I don't know. And I just didn't want my conversation with my personal stuff to be in that Discord. So when I I went into that Discord and the first thing I saw was like this, like all these messages about me with like all this really personal stuff about me in it. And I was like, whoa, what the hell is all this? Like, can we get this out of here? Like, what's this about? And then Ferret was like, well, they don't even mention you. And I was like, well, yeah, like I'm mentioned in it quite a few times. And he's like, no, you're only mentioned once. And I like went back up to be like, am I crazy? What's going on here? No, like it's all like personal stuff about me. So I was like, I need you to please, like,
any because apparently this was just posted. Is anything about that? Apparently they're here.
Phoenix, you got jealous because you thought something was going on between me and CJ. I've since found out that apparently you and CJ had something going on behind the scenes at the time, or you're in love with him or something and you can't let go. Love-hate relationship, whatever. He's all yours. However, I've actually had people send me proof of you calling them on me. So I don't know why you keep saying that you don't. You've also followed me around the internet relentlessly, and I'm pretty sure that you're also responsible for several false accounts that attacked me, that you also tried to blame on Spade to get me and her into a fight. Because you wanted to fight with Spade, Phoenix, and you saw her coming after me over CJ. I retweeted Regina, and you thought you would use that to get me and Spade into a fight. And I started to feel a little weird about it. So I started calling out Spade, and when she didn't come for me, I started to dig into whether or not you were the one starting that or her. And I found out that it was all you. You got mad at her for wanting to do a video on CJ to fuck around with CJ, and then you've been stalking her ever since and trying to create her problems ever since. And she's done several streams about a stalker out here, and it's you. And now you're stalking me because you felt like she was a threat with CJ. Then I came along, you felt like I was, and now you're trying to do all the same things to me that you did to her for 2 years, and everybody's over you and your shit. The end. Go away. Get away from everyone. Stop doxing people. You dox people for CJ. You also shared nudes for them. Stop lying. Stop trying to blame everything on like Raina or Tush or that person or this person. Half of it you did too. You also supported the revenge stream. You even tried to convince me that the revenge stream, there was no problem with it. So you also spent several weeks convincing me that CJ was innocent of every single thing he had ever did when I first entered that community. And then you also made a Discord on me and Ray Reynolds with Sid, and then you tried to blame it on Marie when she just went in there, saw it, and was like, what the hell is this? And then told him. Okay. And then you went around and attacked her and her kid with some channel, Sid, and like 30 men, and you attacked her over her child, over very personal information that Marie told you as a friend, because you're a disgusting person, a disgusting friend, and everyone on the internet should stay far away from you. Far away from you, Heartbeats Vanity, and anyone else, Kaylee, and anyone else in your little groupies of Let's All Go Cancel RSN, and anyone that he possibly gets close to. You all need help hell of a lot more than I do. So if I'm crazy, go take a look in the mirror, chick.
Someone has made an accusation against you in the chat. I would like your comment on it.
I've never doxed anyone in my life. Who did I dox? What, Heavy Down? Because I showed our conversation. Her name was Bells of Nevermore. What's her name on YouTube right now? I thought the bitch was undoxable. She did an entire stream where she went on a big rant, said her full first name, told everyone she's undoxable, that she doesn't care if everyone knows who she is, acted all tough, and then her Discord name can't be shared. Then she disappears, and then she comes back on here with that very name. And you're still on me about apparently doxing her?
Well, if that's what they're referring to, that's definitely not it. I'm not.
I got reported and kicked off of Reddit for doxing her because she went to my subreddit, and then they all were like, "Oh, she's being doxed," and then they all came and reported me for doxing. So wow. Yeah, that's what that's about. I've never doxed anyone else.
That is true. That is true right there.
Yeah, she did. She said she was an author, and she also went on a stream, and she went on this big rant. She was like, my name is this and this. You can look me up. I write books, and I'm undoxable. And I'm pretty sure Sue even has that in his video, one of them, where she, like, does the rant.
Yep. Yes.
So,
yes.
like, I don't know how I can dox someone that's undoxable. Just like how I saved her life, and then all of a sudden I made her commit suicide, right?
Suit's videos on Heavy Down are very extensive. But hold on, we have a question here.
But that's the other thing. Like, I've never opened a GoFundMe.
Well, I think the biggest thing that people are coming after you for, it seems to be the way you respond to things. I think they come at you because they think you're like, I think someone in the chat referred to you as aggressive. You are aggressive.
Yeah.
And no doubt that your ability, your typing, how many were 216 you said?
Yeah, I can be aggressive.
Yeah,
I can be rude. I can be brash.
The ability to type like that it's a superpower. You got to contain it. You can really intimidate people that way.
Yeah, I'm intimidating anyway. I get told that all the time in person. I don't know. It's just who I am. I can get really mean, especially if I'm dealing with the same shit over and over and over and over again from the same group of people over and over and over again for like 5 months. It gets very repetitive, and it gets to the point where you just go, I've already dealt with you people for like 3 months. Can you just fuck off and get the fuck out of here? Okay, thank you. Bye. And honestly, when they start coming at you in all these different accounts, what happens is when a new person shows up that you don't know if it's a new person or if it's them in one of these fucking accounts. So just right off the bat, you're just like, nah, fuck off. Like, I'm just not dealing with you. And then people get offended and they're like, oh no, you attacked me first because I just tried to talk to you and you told me to go get fucked.
Yeah. I agree with this one, actually. Yes. Hopefully.
She'll be back. She'll be back in like 2 days to yell at Billy or somebody. I don't know.
Or
Isn't
me.
that who pushed her over the edge this time?
Or me.
It's like Suit's fault.
Yep. No doubt she'll be back to yell at Suit again.
Give her 2 days. The one thing I do want to say, though, on her behalf, I just have to bring this up. This has actually really been bothering me. About her suicide pictures. If you make a public suicide claim out here, you are hounded to share a picture or something to prove it. It happened to me. I had about 50 people screaming at me that I was faking it, that if I didn't show a picture of me in the hospital, then they were going to assume I was faking it. So I shared a picture of me in the hospital because I was new to the internet and stupid. And then they all went and made parody accounts with it because apparently me being in a hospital gown in the hospital after a suicide attempt is really funny for a parody account. Because that turned into an attempt. So yeah, I hope you feel good about that. But I just have to say, like, I've been hearing a lot of people that are saying, like, oh, if you share pictures of it, then it must be to seek attention. In some cases, yeah, maybe, but I also just want to bring up that you do kind of get bullied to out here as proof. And I've heard that CJ has asked people for proof of this as well in the past. So I don't know if that's how he obtained set picture or what, but I also know that I was heavily told that I had to share a picture to prove myself. So she might have been very heavily bullied to share those pictures. So I think people should lay off about the whole sharing pictures thing. It's just, that's really been bothering me because I've heard a lot of that.
I think the biggest issue is that posting about that stuff in the first place. Then if you post one thing, they're like, well, that's not good enough. We want more proof and more proof. It's best just to tell them no. Just say no.
Yeah. I think though, for people especially that have like mental health issues like depression and stuff, it gets really hard out there if people are saying that you faked it, especially if it was real for you and you are dealing with the aftermath. I don't know if people are aware of the aftermath of suicide. It's not a very good day. The day after you have a failed attempt, it's not a good day for you. You don't feel great about yourself. You feel like you failed. You probably still don't want to be around. And like the last thing you really need is people questioning. So I don't know.
That is some good advice, Roger. That if anyone asks for proof, that's what you tell them.
Yeah, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, please send them down, Queen. Please send it down."
Well, I think also another issue. They say that you have a tendency to, how do I put this? But the way they put it was that you people can say one thing to you, you will completely take it a completely different way, and then get mad about it. That hasn't happened yet so far. We've been chatting for a while, so I'm just curious, like, why do you think maybe that you misinterpret things sometimes, and that could be the source of some issues?
I think that I can be misinterpreted a lot, and that I
Oh,
can
both ways.
possibly misinterpret sometimes.
Oh, it definitely happens both ways. It's the nature of chatting through text and things.
Mm-hmm. But like, I'm trying to think of like if someone could give me an example of that.
Well, a lot of those 12-hour live have examples of things that it looks like you may have taken something maybe out of context, not out of context, but taken something the wrong way, and maybe it may not have been, as bad as you thought it was. I mean, it's just a vibe I got, is that, it goes back to sometimes you can be aggressive. It's okay to be aggressive, but maybe in certain instances you should have. Again, you got to remember, text can be misinterpreted.
Yeah. I think that that's really fair to say, is that it can be misinterpreted. Also, I'm trying to think of like, I know a lot of people think that I exaggerate the harassment that I've got out here. So if it pertains to that, then no. And I do know that often I get told, and then that gets me mad. Then I feel like I'm not being supportive, which I've already felt like, so it just piles on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah, I would definitely advise not posting things about suicide publicly. Those tend to always, there is no good ending to that one.
No.
Yeah.
No, and I think if you do it once, you probably shouldn't do it a second time. I think the reason why Heavy Down's getting hated so much right now is that it looks like every time that somebody does something on her, she's going to get suicidal.
Heavy Down.
And that's kind of an issue. Like, you can't be like, oh, someone's making a video about me, so I'm going to go commit suicide. And then, oh, someone's asking me questions I don't want to answer, so I'm going to go commit suicide. Like, it can't be like a thing out here. Like,
yeah. And there's also the idea that she whenever people do
you just froze a little bit.
Hello? Okay.
Hello? Did you freeze on me?
Probably. Yep, that's exactly what happened. But we're still here. Did you hear what I said before I left?
No, it cut out.
What I was saying was, okay. What I was saying is that it seems like Heavy Down, when people go in there to troll her, she gets poked and prodded, and she flips out on people, and that just becomes more content. And I think that maybe not nowhere near as bad. Nowhere near as bad. You are guilty of the same thing, where you make a video response, and like I've seen the videos where you have like these random people from Twitter as well in the videos, that don't even have YouTube channels. Like, I don't really agree with that. I think that's like targeting civilians in a way. You know what I mean?
It depends how badly they're targeting me too, though. Like someone like Kaylee, if you're gonna call cops and CAS on me,
oh,
you're gonna chase me around the internet all over the place.
Definitely, if they're like It's trying to
I don't
invade
really
your
care if
personal
you're a
life.
viewer. I'm probably going to put you in a video. Usually, now see what I originally did is I had done a hate comment video and I tried to make it kind of funny. And I had actually blurred out all of the identifying information
Yes, I
originally.
saw that one.
You are in there. One of your comments made it in there. And so what happened is I posted the video like that, and then everyone actually got mad at me for blurring people out.
What?
Because they wanted to take it as proof that I was being harassed. And although some of the people had been like people that were harassing me, not everyone in the video was like somebody that was like harassing me. Like I said, like you had a comment in the video. So it was like, well,
Yeah, I think
what the hell?
I think it was when you were threatening legal action against somebody. I was like, everyone threatens legal action against everyone on YouTube. Nothing ever happened.
I think that was when that was when Tom Brooks was threatening to sue me. That's what that was. Tom Brooks from 90 Day Fiance came and threatened to sue me because I outed he was in organal gold.
Oh,
he went on a big thing on me on Instagram and was all like, I'm gonna sue you for doing this video. And I was like, all right, I'll see you in court, Tom.
Oh, okay. So that's the backstory on that one. That one's that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I had a little bit of fun out here before all this. Onision copy struck me once too before that.
So, all right. Does chat have any more questions? Anything else that needs to be asked? I think we've covered most of the accusations and the controversies, the big ones. I definitely think you should be more careful about the things you post because, you know, like the whole I will accuse RSN of anything thing. Like that's a nice like kind of troll in a way, but you really got to be careful what you post. That can wrong people see that. You know what I mean?
All the wrong people that would see that would just want to jump on and have me do it.
There definitely might be some. You said you already had one, right?
I had a few, yeah. But that's the same thing with like there's a lot of people that do leave that community and nothing happens to them. And then they say that they're a victim.
Yeah. Although you did say that like he has a habit of like of getting in, I don't know, would you call them relationships with women and using them to an extent? Is that what you claimed?
I'd say that, yeah.
Okay.
I can't not say that now.
You wouldn't, but you wouldn't call them like victims. You would just say that they are people he's taking advantage of, maybe.
I can't say that anyone is really a victim. I mean,
I don't like throwing the word.
I don't want to be rude or anything, but like, even in terms of some of the revenge porn stuff, like if you post that in a Discord,
I agree with that too.
The person who runs the Discord might save them to his phone. Is it really creepy? I don't know. Why are you posting them nudes in the Discord?
Making a stream exposing all of it is creepy.
Like I willingly sent and received, and so I can't be like, oh, I'm a victim. So I don't know. I get really fed up with like people acting like CJ is some kind of like mastermind manipulator.
I think we already addressed that one, I think. If you go back further in the stream.
So
yeah.
I just get fed up with the grooming thing. Like people that are saying that he's some kind of like mastermind that like hacked in and like stole the pictures, which I've heard, or like some kind of mastermind that manipulates women into doing things. Like I just think that that's a bit much.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
If you're going to be like, oh, he groomed me to send pictures, like I don't want to hear none of that. That's a lie. Like you wanted to send those pictures. Don't lie to me. I was in the same boat. Don't tell me you didn't.
Yeah, I think that if you are posting stuff, and I see some people talk about it, if you're posting things in a public Discord, and then I don't know, that's a little weird to begin with, in my personal opinion. And then, like I said, making a stream exposing it, that is creepy. That is really creepy. That doesn't sit right with me personally.
I can't really talk on that anymore because I've been told in the last couple days that there's some things that I need to go and check out about Suit stream on that. But I don't know if I just have people trying to change my opinion or.
Did he do a stream on that topic?
Yeah, that's what the last 2 streams have been on. Apparently, there's a call that I've missed, where some things are said, and I've had my inbox just like everyone's telling me to go watch the call. A lot of people are claiming that it says that he's like someone that like manipulates into pictures, and that's kind of why I just said what I said. Like, I find it kind of a silly narrative.
You don't think he's a mustache twirling supervillain, basically?
No, and I think that like CJ's not as dumb as a lot of people think, but then he's really not as smart as a master manipulator of all women. If that makes sense. Like,
no, yeah. I don't think he's a master manipulator of women. That's an interesting.
And I think that maybe some of these people get embarrassed afterwards, that they liked him, and I don't know, because they get flack for it, and then they say that he like manipulated them into doing it because it's easier than just fucking admitting that you liked the dude and you sent him your pictures and whatever. And that's my opinion.
You know, that's certainly not a thought. I mean, that's certainly a thought I've had in my head. That's as a possibility.
Well, because you get a lot of flack. You get a lot of like, what did you see in him? Why would you like him? What the fuck, that fucking blowfish? A lot of that kind of stuff. So if you had a really bad falling out and you actually did want to destroy him, it wouldn't be that hard to be like, oh yeah, I didn't actually like him. He like manipulated me, and I like didn't mean to send them. I don't know what happened, guys. I was like totally like they got in my head. I don't know, like
yeah. And if you
and then be like, I never liked him, or like in Heartbeat Vanity's case, like, oh, I was just trying to set him up, or like something like that. It's just because I don't know, they get embarrassed. Just own up to your shit. Be like, I like the dude.
Yeah, I think there definitely is some of that goes on.
Or they get embarrassed that they stuck up for him for things. I think that's some of what Phoenix has. Got embarrassed that she had his back and stuck up for him for a lot of things, and then found out some things, kind of like what's happening with me right now, and then decided that no, maybe I shouldn't have stuck up for him in terms of certain things, and then yeah.
Would you say that like that you and Phoenix had a falling out or whatever because of the rumor situation originally? Is that where it began?
As far as I'm concerned, yeah. I didn't know if we had a problem before that, but it was because of the rumor, and then that grew into the Discord. Because her and Sid went and created that Discord, and then they went on some channel and they did a stream about me, which has, I believe, since like disappeared, or I don't know. And then yeah, I thought Phoenix and I were friends until all of a sudden there was the rumor in the Discord. So, but I've heard that that's very common of Phoenix. So a lot of people said that she was going to attack me because CJ and I were getting to be close friends. So she was going to get jealous and she was going to attack me. And like I said, apparently she had done that to other people in the past. So she was known for that.
Interesting. Well, you know, that's just.
And I get accused of that now. I've been accused of doing that.
My advice would be: you don't have friends on YouTube; you have associates, business associates.
Yeah. Maybe not even that.
Isolate the kingdom.
Yeah.
Interesting, actually. Have you heard this before?
I have heard that before, yes. I heard that there was a joke that was made in relation to that. However, CJ told me that it was made in response to the accusation, and then he made a joke, ha ha ha, maybe I should. And then that's all it was, because I got very angry at him for making that joke.
Okay. Would you well, I don't know exactly what they're referring to, but that's an interesting situation. If that voice chat exchange, which I guess was recorded, if the receipts are posted, right? So interesting.
Which is also interesting because I don't ever remember giving permission for any of my voice chats to ever be recorded.
I come to the conclusion every voice chat online is recorded.
Where I live, you have to let the party know, so you might want to.
Yeah. Although I don't know how that works cross country. If you can just, like, if your country allows.
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out. Let's go. I know how some of the other recordings were happened, so
I have heard that, by the way, a lot. So I agree.
But that's because these are the type of people. See, I don't record anything. I hardly even screen cap things because I just don't care. But the issue with people like Phoenix and Heartbeats Vanity and all these people is they are actually looking for things to use against you at any time for their drama. So everything does get recorded.
Mm-hmm. Even everything in text as well. That's why you need to treat everything.
Yeah, I'm not a drama community, so like everyone keeps saying I'm in the drama community because I like hung out in CJ's community. That wasn't my community; that was his community. I just hung out there, so like I wasn't even a mod. Like
I've noticed that in that community, the viewers are becoming content. It pisses people off, then they leave, and then a new batch of viewers comes in, and the same thing happens. Is it?
It's every time that he gets a new girl.
Okay, interesting. I haven't made that connection, but that's interesting if that's the case.
It appears to be that every time that he discards of one of his girls, he does a flush.
Yeah.
The last Discord was created when Phoenix left.
Was Suit his last girl?
You would think so. I think they're a little bit more obsessed with each other than anyone's ever been.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
He would be the bottom. I was putting it out there.
All right. Interesting. I don't know if Canada is a one-party consent state or not, or a country or not. I know some people are saying that, like Roger was saying, Kentucky is a no one-party consent state up here somewhere.
I love how everybody's like, no, we like totally love how you got recorded without you knowing, and people are threatening to like release them. That's so allowed. Queen, why are you reacting? And this is what I mean. It's like the same when I'm like, people called CAS and cops on me, like, what the fuck? And then people will be like, Queen, like, why are you mad? People are calling cops and CAS on you all the time, you crazy bitch. It's like, we're just cool with this happening out here? I'm like, oh, fuck, guys. Like, I got doxxed again. They're like, well, aren't you, like, used to getting doxxed all the time yet? I'm like, am I supposed to be? Like, what's happening out here, guys? Why are we, like, doxing people and sharing and recording and, like, doing all this shit to each other? And why am I crazy? Because I'm flipping out over how y'all are acting crazy. That's what I want.
Like I said, the power of sock accounts. You can say whatever you want through a sock account. They can't tie it back to you.
But that's the thing, is that I don't care if you tie it back to me. Because I'm not hiding anything.
But they
I'm
keep
not out
coming
here
after
trying
you.
to be
Everything you
something
say.
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm probably the only one who's not. So
You're not the only person who's had the cops called on them. That apparently is a thing. As soon as your information goes out there, they swat you. They call the cops on you. They go after. They target the children. Apparently.
okay, so because it's happened to other people, I should just accept it.
No, you shouldn't accept it, but it's apparently there's a risk everyone has to take.
But why? Why are we out here on YouTube all just sitting here going, oh no, guys, when you become a YouTuber, you like just totally get doxxed all the time. And then they'll like call cops and CAS on you. And it's just like something you got to deal with as a YouTuber instead of like being like, yo, this shit's got to stop. We got to stop this fucking behavior.
I
I'd
agree,
like to
but
know
the
that.
powers
Do
that
we
be
have
do
like,
not care.
we have
The
this
powers
person
that
out
be
here
want to
called
fight.
Mob Watch. They're supposed to be like watching the mobs of hate. Like, are you doing your job?
Well, if you would like to start a vigilante group to go after the horrible doxers of YouTube, do hit
I
me
thought
up.
I already did. Like, what was I doing here this whole time? Holy fuck. Come on, people, let's go.
All right.
No,
Yeah.
I just think that all of it's stupid, though.
I think people go way too far with it.
I think if you're obsessed with somebody for 2 years and their activity online, you should probably go get a hobby.
I think that 2 months is too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm a hypocrite. I sometimes keep going with things, but only because things keep interesting happening. I think if people stop being interesting, I would stop commenting on them. Being so interesting. Apparently.
Well, there's some people that you can't help but comment on, like diety.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes he's getting better, but we shall
I feel
see.
like everybody out here has like one person that they like have to go at.
Yeah. Their white whale, so to speak.
Yeah, it's like the one person. I'm just everybody's one person.
Yeah, see, this is a big thing. I highly agree with this. Highly agree with this. That goes for everybody.
See, I put out some personal things about myself on like Facebook for like advocacy purposes for when I was running a domestic violence page and stuff like that. But I didn't really think, because in my anti-MLM community, we don't deal with this. Like, we don't even have the Hun bots like doxing us or like digging into our past to find us out. Like, I've never really heard of that happening too hardcore out here with that. So I don't think I ever really thought like, oh, I'm going to be on YouTube. I should probably make sure that a bunch of people don't just randomly start calling cops and CAS on me. And like, it's kind of weird to me that that should be a thought. Like what? When people go to sign up for YouTube, should they put like a PSA? Like, you do realize that if you have a channel, you are subjecting yourself to constant cop calls, constant doxing. If you have children, CAS will be called on you. And every single thing you have ever posted online in your entire life will be exposed and you will be made to answer it. Do you agree? Like,
exactly. That seems to be the case. I mean, there really needs to be like a little form, a warning, you know?
Yeah, they need to start putting a warning if this is just going to be something that we're all like, yo, man, this is just cool. Just
the
part
powers
of the
that be
game.
seem to want us at each other's throats. You know, no mercy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know some people are bringing up the terms of the TOS. I don't think YouTube gives one damn about its TOS. I think that it enforces its TOS just to get rid of people who cause bad PR. So, or people who hurt their advertisers.
Also, like, none of that stuff helps you anyway, because like look at like Heavy Down like flags a video that she feels really bullies her or something, for example, and then she has Suit streaming about how she's false flagging videos for like 6 streams.
Mm. Yes, that situation is horrible with the false flagging and her trying to get his videos taken out, because his videos weren't invasive in my opinion compared to other videos that have been made on the internet.
Well, no, but I think she started that like with his very first one, if I'm not
More
mistaken.
toxic than Nestrond, that one.
Yeah, I think that she had started flagging him then. Don't quote me on that, but I seem to remember him mentioning in one of the later videos after that one that she had tried to flag him. I know she flagged my videos that I've mentioned her in. So I know that she probably also flagged him. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if she did it and got other people to do it with her.
Hogan brings up something. I did see you.
I never called CPS on Onion.
But you just were posting that you did?
I never said that I did.
I do remember. Now, like again,
I said that way back in the day when there was that live stream where a bunch of people called. I had gotten a hold of CIS about that. But in terms of like any of this stuff with Chris Hansen, since that, like, no, I never called.
Okay. Like, I know that, like, you, especially when the Antios turned on you, you would not be worried about it at that point. But I don't know. I seem to recall this, like I said, this is long ago, before I even made videos, is when I saw the Twitter screenshot of that.
Yeah.
We addressed that, Hogan, the number that was posted. We talked about that. Oh, hold on. Wrong one.
Yeah, I posted the number. I told people to call because I was being attacked by the Anti-Os, and I said, if you guys care so much, instead of attacking me, why don't you call CPS? I also posted the number for the FBI in Washington and said, or how about you guys all call FBI yourselves instead of waiting around for Chris Hansen? Those were the 2 posts I did that day, and everyone wanted to talk about the CIS post. Maybe you guys should have called the FBI that day instead of worrying about me posting about CPS. You could have made the investigation start sooner.
Would you be willing to say that maybe, though, that was not the correct response to that, probably?
No, and I never said it was.
Okay.
But I also said that I was never in that underground CPS calling group, nor do I know if one exists. And honestly, looking into it, it turns out that he hasn't had CPS called on him many times.
I think that the main thing that he has going on is like false people calling up the police, trying to get the police down to his house.
Yeah, but I couldn't, like, I think he only had like 19 calls to his house or something. And like a few of them were cops, and a few of them were the CPS, and the rest were cops or something.
The idea,
but like people were acting like there was like 6 calls a day for like months, and they were trying to find out who was calling CPS to ruin the investigation. And then it was like, it's you, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I think that like I said, the anti-IO community is guilty of a few things that could lead to an underground people calling cops on people. Like, they were doxing at one point his classmates.
They doxed his whole family.
Doxed his whole family.
They started to dox all of his they started to dox all of the people that were in his Discord and some of his like major supporters and stuff.
That may be one of the reasons, because I'm still in his Discord. He never kicked me out. He said he was kicking out anyone who doesn't pay him money yet. I guess he forgot me. Maybe he likes me. but he has it set up now, so you cannot see the history of the Discord.
No, I was in there for a little while too, and then I got kind of boot. I was like brand new to Discord because I only got it in like December too, and I joined his Discord, and he had like half booted me or something, So I couldn't see any of the messages, but for some reason I was still getting them in like the notification across my phone.
Mm.
But then when I would like go into the actual Discord, like I would not be able to see anything. It was so weird. And I could pick up on one of the voice chats for a little while. And
Oh, I tried to tune into his movie night, but I was not allowed access. So I don't even know what movie they were
I
watching.
got booted like really quickly. They were like, "Who's this bitch?" Bye. I didn't even say anything. Maybe that was the problem.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
I
I
should have said
haven't
hello or
I haven't
something.
said anything either. I'm worried that that'll lead to my booting. It's best to hope they just forget about me.
You're now booted. They're watching this stream. They're like, "Damn it, he's still in here." They're searching for you right now.
All right. Well, are there any last minute questions from the chat? Because I gotta get my hounds out in the next 10 minutes or so. But yes, I had fun streaming. I think we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on.
Oh yeah, anytime. And if you ever want to have me on your channel, I owe you one.
Yep. Okay.
But yes, any last minute questions? The dogs are not in my head. Okay, I'm at least 99.8% sure of that.
99.8. That fucking 0.2% though, man. Gotta wonder. Gotta wonder.
Here's the thing, though, about that, Hogan. The mysterious beeping noise that only some people could hear, it's apparently stopped. So, I have no idea. I still don't know. What was beeping? Why did it stop beeping? I will never know.
Why did it start? Even in the first place?
How long has it been beeping? That's a good question.
Is there a light that comes with it, or is it just a beep?
Yeah.
There's so many questions.
So many questions that remain unanswered.
So I have to ask you a question now.
Okay.
Ask you a question?
As long as it's not too personal.
Oh,
what is
shit.
it?
Everyone wants me to ask you, why are you simping for Muse?
Money.
You're just gonna turn into CJ for a minute?
Yep, cash money. With all that Mega Millions she has from burying her roommates with Amazon boxes, she has shifted those funds to me in order to publicly defend them.
Oh, it's kind of like the drug dealing thing that I had going on with CJ. I get it. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Gotcha. So she pays you in that?
Yep.
It's nothing else, is it?
Nothing I would.
You two aren't like.
Of course not.
You guys aren't doing like a.
Nope. She is my YouTube secretary, and I don't do that with employees. That would just be weird.
Well, you know, weirder things have happened, I guess.
Yeah, I'm about to pull on my I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I never thought that I would ever want to be with a blowfish, like, or a blobfish or whatever the fuck. But like, here we are, you know, like, you don't know that you're into bestiality, and then it just kind of happens, I guess, you know. So I figured, you know, it would be like a polygamous relationship. It would be like, it, you know, if you've ever not wanted to be monogamous, and this girl actually does have this, that would be life made. It'd be like being with, like, how many does she have? Like 10, 20, 30 now? We up to 50 yet, Muse? She like personalities
14.
inside her. How many?
14.
Oh, 14. Okay.
I don't know.
Is there memories of them?
They have their own memories. They would probably answer that better than I would.
It's Quinn?
Yes, it's Quinn. Quinn was the one on my my stream previously. They also get aggressive with chat. They also get aggressive.
And Muse knows all of them.
Muse no longer exists, I'm afraid. They have integrated in with someone else. So they've
The
like
host always has
combined.
to exist. It's the
They
host.
were not the host, unfortunately. Apparent it was they made videos at one point before they took them all down on their channel. Apparently there was a separate host. But like I said, they'd be able to go into more detail with that. But the person running the show now is one of the people I did an interview with.
So like you just like falsely accuse somebody of sex trafficking and then all of a sudden your host dies? It's like that? Damn,
No
I gotta
comment.
get myself some DID.
And I think they also have like a thing where they all take accountability for each other's actions. So I don't
Whoa,
believe.
whoa, no. They wouldn't know that the other ones existed. When
I
you
don't
have
know.
DID, you have the host and the host knows that the other ones exist, but they don't know really about each other much unless, and the host often doesn't have memory when the other ones take over. So it would be like a big gap in time. Like she would just all of a sudden come back and then she would be like, oh my God, like, why am I on a live stream with you right now? What the fuck's going on? And she would probably start crying and be very confused. Has that happened?
On the YouTube DID community, I've never seen that happen with anyone with DID actually. In the same way, yeah, like some tears come, but they don't like come on crying. And yes, there can be some memory loss, but in my experience, as long as there's like some preparations, like they call it being co-con, apparently is the term they use.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as there's like a small transitionary period, there's not a big deal. It's like if maybe one gets forced out, it would be a confusing situation.
Yeah, because you usually can't like force them out unless you're being guided, or
you can access
they
them
just kind of come. Like you don't really have control over that.
No, I don't think that you can. I think there is some degree of control over it to a certain extent. Like you can willfully do it, but most of the time I think it's involuntary. I'm pretty sure. Again,
Some people can learn to bring the host back with like a lot of counseling. It takes like a really long time to be able to like bring the host back. But
they're trying to answer in the chat, and because of the delay, I don't even know what they're responding to. So like I said, maybe you two should have a long conversation about this because I could be completely wrong. I could be screwing it up.
See, like there's different kinds too. There's 3 different. I don't think a lot of people realize that also there's 3 different kinds. So that's another thing. It would also depend on what kind she has. So just throwing that out into the world.
Okay.
That would also be part of it as well. So she would have to maybe explain that in full. I don't know.
Well, like I said, that she's down for it. So definitely we can make that happen. But
I'd ask some questions. I've worked with someone with it before. I know somebody that has it, so I'd just be interested.
Well, all I can say, at least from that perspective, because I know some people question the DID, is that it'd be hard pressed to convince me I'm not talking to different people. Okay, I don't know anything about mental illness, really, as far as deep dive stuff, but I know when I'm talking to different people.
Well, usually they have very distinctive differences.
They are very distinct. Like, so it's very easy to tell.
It would be completely different ways of speaking. Some people have even had full-on accents take over that they can't do. That's very common, where they'll have like an accent that just takes over, and then when they're the host, they can't do the accent like to save their soul. So it's because somebody else is in there, kind of thing. Like it is a real mental health disorder, but I think that a lot of people wonder about Muse because of things to do with her past and some things that have come out. So people just wonder if she's faking that. Like she's apparently faked some things in the past.
Well, you've been accused of faking some things. So I'm sure you all could relate on the whole. The internet turns on you.
But see, and that's the hard thing. And that's the other thing is that I don't know if there would be a way online to ever be able to like prove that you have that.
Yeah.
Unless you got a medical diagnosis and you had the paperwork. Like I have a medical diagnosis for my CPTSD. I got a whole write-up of it. Now the issue is here in Canada, that's very easy for me to just go get.
Yeah. I've
US, it's a lot harder for you guys to go and get medical care and with insurance and get diagnosis than it is here for us. And even here for us, it can suck sometimes. So
yeah, I hear people in the US complain about that sort of thing.
Yeah, like they don't have the health insurance to it costs money to go and get diagnosed in the US. If you don't have the money for it, you're not going to go get the diagnosis. So like it's kind of a hard thing to question online.
And I'm also naturally paranoid, so I assume everyone's faking to begin with anyway. So the fact that I managed to go from, like I said, if you manage to convince me that you're not faking, you're supposed to be at least good at it faking, right? Because there's this streamer a long time ago who streamed video games, and he was in a wheelchair for the longest time. One day he forgot to turn his camera. He just stood up and walked around.
Yeah,
it shocked everybody. So ever since then, I don't trust it a lot of times, unless I am like convinced beyond a shadow of a doubt.
That's crazy. I would like have a heart attack if I was watching somebody play video games in a wheelchair. Then they just stood up. I would be like, "What? Like, what the fuck?" Like,
yeah, they were banned from Twitch for that too.
Oh, of course it was on Twitch.
Oh my god. I could not believe that was going on.
Oh man. How could you imagine the backlash from that though? Especially if you were like using that. He had to have been using it in some way. Otherwise, what would be the point of it? Like he had to have been using it to like get extra donos somehow or something.
Yeah.
Why would you like
basically, yeah.
Make that up? There's no. So I'm always like, what do you gain out of this? If you look at what people can gain, right? Like, what can this person gain out of this?
Yeah. There's definitely some of that going on. You know, a lot of people do the pity party online for money. But when you find out that you stood up from a wheelchair and just walked around like
that's pretty like
yeah. But like I said, I gotta get my hounds out. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap this up here. So,
awesome.
All right, I think like I said, I think we covered good ground, and I'm glad we were able to do this.
And also, if anyone wants to come and talk to me and ask me questions, like even if I've yelled at you in the past, you can come and talk to me and ask me questions. I probably won't yell at you again, as long as you're not like screaming accusations at me in my inbox. Like, I just don't react very well to like constant accusations about me or other people that I'm around. Is basically what that is.
Okay. Well, like I said, a lot of times we can resolve things just by having a discussion. So I think it's good.
I'm more intimidating in writing than I am in person, I think.
Yes, I agree. I agree. You're writing. The walls of text are intimidating. But all right, everyone. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, as is tradition, to both me and my guest. And I will see you next time.